If a world war started tomorrow, where would you go? Not bunkers, not borders, but the quiet places. Far away, self-sufficient, almost forgotten, and barely known to anyone. In this episode of Earthspective, we'll explore 7 hidden safe havens across the planet. Remote, resilient, and quietly prepared to outlast even our worst mistakes. In the middle of the Indian Ocean, where the water glows turquoise and the air smells of sugarcane, lies Mauritius, small, calm, and far removed from almost everything. It doesn't scream for attention. No great armies, no secret missiles, no reason for anyone to invade. And that's its strength, invisibility. Mauritius is a place that quietly built its own resilience. The island runs more and more on wind and solar energy, while the rest of the world still argues about fossil fuels. Fields of sugarcane stretch inland from the coast, not just for export, but to feed biofuel plants and local farms. Offshore fisheries still supply markets that work the way they did 100 years ago, through community and cooperation. When a global system breaks, you don't need might. You need moderation. Mauritius has it. A multicultural democracy, politically neutral, self-reliant enough to ride out global shocks without falling apart. It's the kind of place where survival isn't about hiding. It's about already living sustainably. At the far end of the world, south of the Australian mainland, Tasmania sits beneath restless clouds. The air feels sharper, the forests older, the light cleaner. It's a place that seems detached from time itself. Tasmania is an island made for endurance. It runs almost entirely on renewable energy, drawn from rivers and wind that never stop moving. Hydroelectric dams hum in mountain valleys, quietly powering cities that barely reach 500,000 people. And yet, it's not isolationist. It's prepared. Local farms can feed the entire population several times over. Water is abundant, and the cool climate keeps disease and drought at bay. If the world's networks failed, Tasmania would simply slow down, not collapse. Its remoteness protects it, its self-sufficiency sustains it. Life here already runs on patience. Long winters, long projects, and a quiet sense of continuity. You get the feeling that even if history decided to start over, Tasmania would still be here, green and self-contained, waiting for the noise to stop. This is the kind of place that survives by staying out of the story. If you like exploring these forgotten corners of the planet, leave a like. It helps more people find Earthspective. And if you're new here, subscribe. We keep traveling where the headlines don't. Then comes silence and sunlight. Namibia's deserts shimmer for hundreds of kilometers, untouched except by wind and the slow drift of shadows. Few countries feel so empty, but emptiness here is safety. The Namib Desert, one of the oldest on Earth, acts like a natural barrier to everything chaotic and human. Towns lie hundreds of kilometers apart, stitched together by narrow roads and sheer necessity. The land gives little, so people learn to take even less, to live within limits, to build only what lasts. Namibia's Atlantic coast is alive with fish, while its plateaus soak up relentless sunlight, enough to power the nation many times over. Its growing solar industry is quietly transforming isolation into independence. And the best part? No one wants it. Namibia holds no targets of global importance, no alliances, no quarrels worth crossing the desert for. In a world obsessed with control, Namibia's greatest strength is that it can simply be left alone. Just across the channel, Madagascar sits adrift. Huge, diverse, and self-contained. It's a place that has learned to exist without help. The Central Highlands, cooler than the coast, produce everything from rice to coffee. People here don't wait for ships. They grow, trade, and fix. Even when cyclones lash the coast, the island bends, but rarely breaks. Madagascar's history is one of solitude, cut off from the African mainland for nearly 80 million years. That evolutionary isolation forged not only unique wildlife, but a human rhythm adapted to unpredictability. This island has been on its own for 80 million years. It's good at it. Tucked between Argentina and Brazil, Uruguay feels like a country that decided long ago not to compete. And in a world obsessed with speed and expansion, that might be its secret strength. It's one of the few nations on Earth where nearly all electricity comes from renewable sources: hydro, wind, and sunlight. The land is gentle, fertile, and already used to feeding more people than it holds. There's no race for power, no arms buildup, no territorial tension. Montevideo, the capital, looks out across a calm river that feels more like an inland sea. The skyline is modest, not because it couldn't be taller, but because it doesn't need to be. People here value consistency over spectacle. In the event of global chaos, that steadiness becomes priceless. You can almost imagine Uruguay continuing its quiet routine while the rest of the world shouts at itself. Cows still grazing, wind turbines still spinning, a country that never stopped being reasonable. In a world acting noisy, Uruguay survives by being quiet. Far out in the Atlantic, where clouds move like sails, the 10 islands of Cape Verde sit halfway between continents. The land is dry, the air salty, and the people adaptable. They've had to be. Volcanic rock doesn't make for easy farming, yet Cape Verde turned hardship into resilience. Rainfall is scarce, but solar and wind power are abundant. Every drop of water, every gust of wind, every small success is used and reused. What keeps the island safe isn't isolation alone. It's irrelevance in the best possible way. There are no targets here, no armies, nothing worth conquering. Just communities built around fishing, self-reliance, and the steady rhythm of tides. If the world tore itself apart, Cape Verde would keep doing what it's done for centuries. Endure the droughts, catch the fish, repair the boats, and wait for the storm to pass. It's safety, not from power, but from perspective. When the world's noise fades, all that's left is wind and ocean. And finally, the last refuge before the horizon. Tristan da Cunha, a lonely dot in the South Atlantic, home to barely 250 people. No airport, no rush, no war. Here, survival isn't a plan, it's a lifestyle. The islanders grow potatoes, fish the surrounding waters, and depend on a handful of ships each year. Their world is small, but it's complete. In a future where global systems crumble, that smallness could be strength. Tristan da Cunha already lives outside the system everyone else depends on. If peace had an address, it might be here, on an island that time forgot. There's no such thing as true safety in a world war, but there are places built for patience. Islands that learned how to live slowly, quietly, and with just enough. They won't escape the world's chaos, but they might outlast it. And maybe that's the real lesson. The future doesn't always belong to the powerful. Sometimes it belongs to the places that no one thought to look for. This was Earthspective. If you found this journey worth it, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes calm is worth searching for.